This is your daily dose of all things royal. Welcome back, my gorgeous, good-looking friends. This woman is about as evil as they come. It's getting really hard to refute the fact that this woman was brought in as some type of government asset, and her role was to cause chaos and discourse within the royal family to destabilize it. Rationally thinking people, or the generation that's still left and have the ability to critically think for themselves, see everything wrong with society represented in Meghan and Harry. The indoctrination of this socialist fascist state that is consuming all these Western countries all at the same time is not an accident or coincidence. There are so many things that just don't add up. However, today, a piece of the jigsaw puzzle has revealed itself with Ngozi Fulani. Remember her, Ngozi Fugazi, who caused all that trouble with Lady Susan Hussey? This lying, race-baiting, Marxist woman has reared her ugly-looking head back into the news. But before we get there, remember the amount of trouble that this woman caused right before William and Catherine landed in Boston? Almost as if Meghan Markle and her team, on purpose, deliberately tried to sabotage the Earthshot Prize here in Boston in the United States. Remember, poor William had to make a statement before he landed in Boston, denouncing whatever comments that Lady Susan Hussey had said that Ngozi Fugazi had accused her of being racist. Without getting all the facts, William had to take that action because he knew that if he didn't, it could possibly sour or cast a dark shadow over his event in Boston. And being that he's coming to America, home of the most racist Black people, he didn't want to chance that. Nor did he want a repeat of the Caribbean tour and what Meghan's Sussex squad did. Even though Lady Susan Hussey did nothing wrong and was demonized for just asking a simple conversational question as where are you from, she took the high road and ended up stepping down just so that this wouldn't blow out of proportion. But that wasn't enough for these race-baiting, hateful people that support Meghan Markle. They went on to continue this campaign. It is clear they have a political purpose, and that is to take down the monarchy. So when this story came out, boom, like clockwork, back to back, we had Misan Harriman speaking out about Marlene Headley, aka Ngozi Fugazi, and then all of a sudden Shouty Shola coming out the next day, attacking the royal family by continuing the gaslighting and race baiting. Even though Lady Susan Hussey had apologized and stepped down, it still wasn't good enough. Ngozi Fugazi went on every television show and even was invited to Buckingham Palace for an in-person apology with Lady Susan Hussey, and it still wasn't enough. You see, it didn't matter what the palace did. In fact, they shouldn't have done anything because the same results would have happened, because this was a specific campaign directed at attacking the royal family. Ngozi Fugazi went to this reception with intent, and I do think that originally her target was Queen Camilla. And I do believe that if she had the chance to speak to Queen Camilla, she would have pinned this whole racism narrative on her. It's just unfortunate that Lady Susan Hussey happened to be the one to be friendly and strike up conversation with her. It's certainly not a coincidence that two of Meghan's biggest race-baiting voices online happen to be close friends with Ngozi Fugazi. Here we have Misan Harriman, who stands up for her, and then you have Shouty Shola, who is equally good friends with her. Oh, the utter caucasity or blackacity of these people. And for those that don't know or forgot, Sister Space was the Fugazi charity that was behind all those complaints to Ipso to get Jeremy Clarkson canceled after the article that he wrote, making a comment in reference to Game of Thrones about Meghan Markle. Is it a surprise that at the same time, all of the news outlets that support Meghan Markle came out with this story? No. So there is some level of coordination going on here. So I have to wonder, how much money do you think Ngozi Fugazi made, not only for this hit job, but also the hit job against the royal family? Because we know that these people don't do anything for free. Which now brings me to the point that I want to make in this video. Remember when I talked about the Sussex Squad and said that a lot of these members are anti-monarchists, they're BLM, they're Antifa, and that they are recycled, meaning that they get repurposed for other types of chaos? I believe that that's what's happening here with MP Diane Abbott. So the question is, what's this all about? Well, the simple answer? Racism, of course. Now, I don't know too much about UK politics, but apparently this woman was suspended for a letter that she wrote in The Observer in which she criticizes a journalist who wrote in The Guardian that Irish, Jewish, and traveler people can all experience racism, but argued that while white people can experience prejudice, they do not experience racism. She suggests that the two words should not be used interchangeably. So apparently, the Labour Party has remitted Abbott, but banned her from standing for re-election. Now, I'm not going to pretend to know what that means, but the controversy over this is over the hypocrisy of the pro-Abbott left. These people, like Nagazi Fagazi, they will scream racist if you ask them where they're from, and they'll damn you as an excuse maker for race hatred and cast you out of polite society. We have been witnessing this with the Sussex Squad. But here's where the hypocrisy comes in, and the division is that they were quick to forgive and stand by this woman for seemingly minimizing anti-Jewish racism. And the debate that's going on right now is, calling out these very same people for doing the exact same thing that they scream and attack others for doing. And in this case, it's the minimizing of what this woman had said as if their plight, their struggles are more important than others. And that's where the debate lies. And hence the reason why Dan Wooten is calling out Nagazi Fagazi, because here she is backing a woman who said some really hurtful things and minimized it while she was the one attacking the royal family for being asked where you're from. But isn't it interesting that all the same people that are causing this chaos and divide about race are the very same people that did exactly this back with the royal family? So here you have Misan Harriman, who is backing Diane Abbott and taking her photo. And then we also have Shouty Shola with Marlene Headley at this protest or, support rally for Diane Abbott.
Behind the line, please. Behind the banners.
How are you feeling today, seeing all these people come out in support of you?
Well, I feel very moved that so many people have come out at a very short notice. And it's given me a lot of strength after what has been a very difficult week.
And who do you feel more disappointed with? The Conservative Party over their lack of action or the Labour Party?
I don't want to talk negatively. I just want to say that I've been a loyal member of the Labour Party for 40 years and I hope that can continue. And I'm sure that Keir Starmer will look at the strength of feeling and he will do the right thing.
Have you felt any support from the Labour Party, especially the leadership, over what you've been through this week with the comments?
Well, I've had a lot of support from individual MPs. You see, Jeremy Corbyn came here tonight. And there's been very many more that have contacted me and stood with me. And, that's been great. Because people know how difficult it is.
Do you feel that you have been a victim of the party's hierarchy of racism, as mentioned in the Ford report?
I'm nobody's victim. Nobody's victim at all. And I intend to stand firm, whatever happens.
And do you still plan to contest the coming general election?
Absolutely. I'm not going anywhere.
So would you contest the election as an independent candidate if worse came to worse?
I won't have to contest as an independent. I will contest for Hackney North as the Labour candidate.
Have you been readmitted into the party?
I'm still a member of the Labour Party.
I mean, has the whip been returned for you to join as a sitting Labour MP?
Well, I have temporarily lost the whip, but I'm completely confident that Keir Starmer will restore it.
Is that what his office has said?
I am completely confident that Keir Starmer will do the right thing.
And how do you feel about the current state of the party, considering that you've Kate Ossamore, she has had the whip withdrawn? Do you feel that this is a party that you even want to return to?
This has always been my party. This has always been my party. I was proud to be elected as the first black woman MP and as a Labour MP, and I remain proud to be in my party. The party at the grassroots has the same ideals and stands for the same things that it has always stood for.
And what do you say to those who would like you and your party, Labour Party, to no longer be part of it?
I'm not going to place. I'm not going to place.
You're not going anywhere?
Not going anywhere.
And what do you have to say to everybody who's gathered here today behind you who feel disillusioned with the Labour Party? What do you have to say to them?
I'm just glad that so many people have come out to support me. It's very moving.
And have you had any further comments from the Conservative Party, from Rishi Sunak? Has anybody apologised from that particular political party?
No Conservative has apologised. Not at all. And they keep saying that the Hester guy, he's apologised. He's not apologised. He's apologised for being rude, whereas in fact he was racist, and he's not apologised for that. He has apologised for being rude, and in fact he was inciting violence. He's not apologised for that.
I mean, we've seen people, black men, stand trial for posting emojis. Do you think that Hester should be arrested?
It's a matter for the legal system and the police.
But,
all I'm saying is that he was inciting violence.
and you believe a crime has been committed?
All I'm saying is he was inciting violence, and I know people are looking at that.
And so what next for Diane Abbott?
Well, what's next is, I'm going to go home and I'll be in Parliament next week. That's what's next.
I don't know. If I was a Brit, I wouldn't trust this Diane Abbott, especially if she's surrounding herself with people like Misan Harriman, Shouty Shola, Nagazi Fagazi. All of these folks had backed and supported Meghan Markle in attacking the royal family. And I don't think it's a coincidence that these very same people come together at the very same time to create headlines that not only gaslight, but also cause this chaos and division. I've come to the conclusion that these people are paid and paid to be agitators. We saw this with BLM, we saw this with Antifa. You don't have to look very far to see this in the Sussex squad. They do support BLM. They do support Antifa. So I don't doubt that these campaigns, they probably have multiple campaigns that they run. I'm sure some of them are supporting this Diane Abbott. And the people like Soros and no doubt Meghan and Harry are the ones that fund it. I wouldn't be surprised if Shouty Shola is considered an influencer, but her influence is more of agitation. I'm satisfied to know, though, that people are seeing through it. Let me show you an example of that. Today, Dom Lucra, who is one of the bigger accounts on X, breaking narratives per se, and showing things that the media doesn't want you to see, it was really refreshing to see the First Lady of Nigeria's post about Meghan Markle make it on his radar. So he posts this, and I was happy to see that the comments show outside of this little echo chamber that we're in to give us a little bit of reality on what everyone else is feeling about Meghan Markle. As you can see, people want to see this for our youth. They want these things treasured back. Currently, right now, America is in moral decay, and we have people like Meghan Markle, who is parading around half naked, trying to set the example. There's something fundamentally wrong with that thought process, in my opinion. In what world is it okay to trash your own family and trash other people and go after them if you don't agree or idolize what they have to say? And I think that's a very dangerous thing that these leftists do or practice when they gang up on people that they want to deplatform and silence. This is why Meghan and Harry are dangerous. It's because of what they represent and the people who are behind them, like Fagazi Nagazi, Misan Harriman, Shouty Shola, and all the others that they work with in order to go after others into silence. I'm glad I'm not the only one who sees that these celebrities, particularly Meghan and Harry, should be kept away from the youth. Like, they know that if they get to the youth and can indoctrinate them and corrupt their mind, then they will be more malleable to accept the ideology that they're forcing onto all of us. Nobody wants to be enslaved, but when the indoctrination happens and is rooted in the education system and institutions, and then you have people like Meghan and Harry who are given platforms, it's hard to prevent that because psychologically they have got you. It's a very dark day today in American history. Donald Trump has been convicted unfairly in a justice system that was completely against him. These Marxists like Nagazi Fugazi, Shola, Boozy, Meghan, and all those in the Sussex squad who behave in a manner where if you're not in alignment or agreement with their thoughts, their ideas, then you must be canceled, and there's no justice available to you. This guilty verdict sends a strong message to Americans as this could be you next if you don't get in line with the agenda. Clearly, they're not doing anything to hold Hunter Biden accountable or current sitting president who gets 10% for the big guy. What's going on right now is, corruption that I never thought I would ever see in the United States. But here we are. And we've got dingbats like Meghan Markle and all these leftists who can run amok and do whatever they want with absolutely zero consequence. And that's like the big kicker in the teeth about all of this. At least with Donald Trump, we have some kind of hope. I don't know how this is going to play out if he has to go to prison, but he is now officially a convicted felon in which his right to vote now has been taken away. So even if he wanted to vote for himself in this next election, he won't be able to because the left were able to take that away. And that should be seen as a symbol of what they're continuing to take away, which are all our rights. At least with Trump here in the United States, we have a small glimmer of hope. I do feel kind of bad for the UK because either with Rishi Sunak or Keir Starmer, the UK is screwed no matter which way they go because of their association with the World Economic Forum and their support of this Agenda 2030. I don't know how you guys feel about that. I mean, I can't really comment on your politics and what's going on, but from what I see from afar and the positions that they're taking, I think you're screwed either way. Just my humble opinion. But what do you guys think? Definitely leave your thoughts below. As always, I will be back with more content. But until then, please be safe, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!
I was such a fraud.